YouTube friends, welcome to The Last Homely House. I'm Kate and today I'm going to talk to you about 3 finishes. The bindings on 3 quilts. I've sewn them all over the last few weeks. Now this is the last tiny little bit of binding to go on to Agnes, my granddaughter's quilt. For anyone who's been following along with this project, this has been in progress for longer than she's been alive. I started it before she was born and she's 3 now. And I've made a bedroom for her upstairs in what used to be my son John's old room. And the idea is that this quilt will sit on her bed in that room unless her mum and dad decide they want to take it home and have it at home with them, and then that would be fine. But I'm just stitching the last of the binding down. I've done, I did the edges. I think I might have talked about this. There'll definitely be a playlist about this quilt somewhere, and I will leave that in the description below so that you can go and have a look at all the times that I was working on this quilt on the channel. And I finished off the edges with this teal border here, and then I stitched into the border with lots and lots of running stitches in this beautiful Aurifil 12 weight. Now, not long ago, I put a thread box, a Last Homely House thread box in the shop. So in the thread box, I put all my favourite colours, but I definitely chose this one blue, which every bit of Agnes's quilt has been hand quilted with, and I'm stitching down the border with this blue. It's Aurifil 12 2725. Is that one, and then I have all these other colours as well in the thread box. And also in there's a spool of grey in the 50 weight, which is great for hand stitching. This is great for hand quilting, this is great for hand stitching. So I'll just pop my threads over there and carry on finishing off this binding. Now, a few weeks ago you saw a video about the Indian block printed fabric quilt that I made with all the stripy bits of Indian fabric that I brought back from Rajasthan. And at the very end of that video I was stitching on the binding. Now I'm very happy to tell you that my picnic blanket, because that's what it's going to be, now has its binding stitched down. So we'll have a closer look at that one. And you can see that I've stitched the binding down now, and that's a finish. And behind me here is the seed packet quilt, which was a kit that I got from Free Spirit. I got it from Cotton Patch, in fact, and there'll be a link to that in the description below as well. A lot of people were asking me where I got that kit from, and it's a really, really nice kit. I made it here on the channel. I'll put a link to that one below as well. And I bound that one whole weekend. I just sat, I hand quilted it all. And the way that I quilted that one was by parallel lines that made each of the squares look like a seed packet. Well, that was my intention anyway. I don't know whether that actually was the case, but that's how it looks, and then I put the binding on. And when I was doing that one, I did it one whole weekend. I had very, very sore quilting fingers at the end of that, but I watched about 5 seasons of a British drama called Grantchester, which it's all right. I'm not going to say it's the best thing I've ever watched. But it's definitely not by the end of the 5th season. But I just had it on in the background and watched it. James Norton and Robson Green, very nice to watch them in this 1950s drama. It's sort of like a detective mystery thing. Anyway, I got pretty familiar with it, I can tell you, while I was doing the seed packet quilt, and now I wanted to show you the finish on all 3 of these quilts. It's not all of them by any means. I've still got some more quilts in progress, but I've definitely made a big dent in these. Now this one is all pencil dropped to the floor there. So this one is all hand stitched hexagons and all hand quilted. I did machine the binding onto it, but after that every single bit of this is hand stitched. I've really loved doing it. I have another hand stitching project on the go at the minute, but I haven't made as much headway with that as I hoped to. So when I finish this, which is going to be here, we'll go upstairs and put it on Agnes's bed. Finished. Let's take it upstairs now, shall we? I like how it looks. And I also have the cushions that I practiced the quilting pattern on, so I think they can sit at the end of the bed there. And I've really enjoyed making Agnes's bedroom for her, so that she'll have a lovely place to come and stay at Grandma's. And so I hope you've enjoyed watching this quilt over the years and the bindings on the other two that we've been looking at today. And I hope you enjoy my videos in general. And I want to have a little word about that, because there are a few comments I've seen from people who think that I'm not posting as much and that I'm not posting at all and that I'm leaving YouTube, and I'm really not. But my New Year's resolution was to try and get myself a little bit more time and a little bit more real world time, and so I decided right at the start that I would post every 2 weeks to the YouTubes, fortnightly if you live in a country that recognises the fortnight as 2 weeks. And whilst I've been doing that, I'd like to say that the experiment's working. We're well into the year now, and I've been posting every 2 weeks since the beginning of January, and so there's been a lot of work going into making the channel the best we can. Anna helps me, Rita helps me, both my daughters-in-law, and what it's meant is that I get to spend a little bit more time with Agnes in the garden and just doing the sorts of things that you do all the time, that I was finding not much opportunity to do. Sometimes I get a bit ill, stressed, And I know that you don't want me to get like that. So all you beautiful people who are sitting on my lime green sofa, I know that you'd be interested to know that I'm taking care of my own health. And so that doesn't mean that I'm leaving YouTube. I love making videos and posting to YouTube. I love it. But I am going to be posting every second week now. And what that means is I've got more of an opportunity to read your comments and reply to your comments when I can. That was starting to get out of hand before, when there were weekly videos. But it also means that over on Patreon, I get the opportunity to make videos there as well. They're more behind the scenes and a little less editing goes into those, and so they're a lot easier to put together. And so there's content, there's always going to be content. And I hope that this new system suits you. So you've got a video tonight, you'll have a video in 2 weeks' time. I hope that makes sense. But I'd really, really like to thank you all very much for watching. Very much indeed. It's lovely to see the growth of the channel, to see the numbers of people who support me here and over on Patreon. There's a lively Facebook group. I don't have Facebook, but there's a lot of people there who very looking forward to welcoming you there if you search for The Last Homely House. And the question you need to answer, well, I'm sitting in her room. I think that's still the question. So Instagram as well is another place that you can share pictures of things that you're making and look at the things that I post there as well. So there's lots of social media going on. And I, for one, feel that this has been a good development. I hope you agree. So thank you so much for watching. We'll be back soon with something else. Take care.